guys, what is up? It's me, Sam Nova 198 again, and today I am doing a video discussing my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday. Now, yesterday Nintendo had their big Nintendo Direct for June of 2024, and there was a lot of hype for this because there was a Nintendo Direct back in February, but that one was more of a partner showcase. There was nothing super big or super major announced. There were some cool ports and stuff. But other than that, it was mostly quiet Direct, and a lot of us kind of were thinking, man, Nintendo must not have that much this year in terms of big heavy hitters, which we know why. The Switch is winding down. The Switch is 7 years old now, and Nintendo is preparing to unveil the new Switch in the coming months. We don't know when it's going to be. Maybe it'll be October, the same way they did the Switch 8 years ago. But it's a pretty big deal that Nintendo did a Direct yesterday. And also, for me, I kind of went into the State of Play, or not State of Play Direct, not knowing what to expect. Because, like I said, the Switch is 8 years old. Well, 7 years old now. It's going to be 8 next year. But the Switch is 7 years old. And there's not a whole lot. I thought there wasn't a whole lot coming for the Switch. And with the Switch 2 on the horizon in the next year, most likely, it kind of left me wondering what would happen. And another reason I wasn't losing my mind over this Direct was because I feel like a lot of the showcases lately have not been good. Sony did their State of Play, which I think everyone across the board called a complete shit show. They showed Concord, cool, which I'm gonna do a video talking about that, the State of Play situation. But that wasn't good. I actually skipped it because I knew it was going to be a waste of time. But that I heard, but all across the board, the only thing I heard that looked interesting to me from that State of Play was the new Astro game. That's the only thing I cared about. And then Ubisoft had theirs, which was a Ubisoft showcase. They barely do anything special with theirs. And then Summer Game Fest was just a train wreck from what I saw, and nothing interesting came up. Xbox's showcase was actually really good, which was a good sign of things to come for Xbox. I hope they keep it up because Xbox really needs a win after what happened to Tango Gameworks. So lately the showcases haven't been that special. Xbox's was great. Everyone else's was terrible. So Nintendo had a lot to I didn't have that much expectations for Nintendo, but I gotta say, Nintendo knocked it out of the park yesterday, and I was incredibly happy, and I was pretty hyped for what they showed off too, but let's talk about that. So, I'm getting all the announcements and stuff from GameSpot. If you want to look over it with me, you can in the description. So, the Nintendo Direct started off on a pretty big note with the announcement of Mario & Luigi Brothership, which was a very, very exciting news because there hasn't been a Mario & Luigi game in about 9 years. I've never played a Mario & Luigi game. I very well may like it. I might try out the Superstar on Nintendo Switch Online. But I thought that was a pretty cool reveal to start off the show with. It was definitely a pleasant surprise, and it looks really cool. I'm not saying it looks amazing, but from what I've been hearing from Mario RPG fans, we're in the middle of a Mario renaissance. People are so happy to have Mario back as an RPG, well, sort of as an RPG. Mario's always been a platformer, but now it's back as an RPG, so fans are pretty excited about that. The next thing they showed was Nintendo World Championship NES Edition, which is a collection of, I guess, trial, of challenge modes for old NES games, which seems cool. I'm not super into challenge modes, so that looks fun. They also announced Fairy Tail 2. I'm not the biggest fan of Fairy Tail, so might be cool, it might suck, I don't know. They also announced the Fantasia Neo Dimension, which it was over on, I guess, Apple Arcade as I'm reading it here, but it looked pretty cool. I'm not losing my mind over, but it was definitely a cool thing to see. Then another big announcement happened. This is another port, but it's still a good port to get, and it's something I'm looking forward to, and that is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which is an HD redux of Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii and also 3DS. This is going to include both the 3DS version and the Wii versions. Now, I bought the 3DS version back last year at Too Many Games, but now that I'm hearing it's coming to Switch next year, I'm like, you know what, I'll just pick it up on Switch. It'll probably be one of the last Switch games to pick up. Next game was Mio, Memories in Orbit, and this one was actually pretty cool. This kind of reminded me of Ori and the Blind Forest a little bit, and I'm definitely going to try this out. This looked amazing. It graphically looked gorgeous. It looks really good. It has potential to be one of my favorite games of the year. Next up, Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes. This includes Dragon Quest 3, and I believe the first 2 as well, so that'll definitely be interesting. Then they announced Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, so pretty cool. But this was a big announcement for pretty much fighting game fans everywhere, and that is Marvel vs. Capcom is making a big comeback. Now, Capcom announced that they are going to be releasing a collection called Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which is going to include several of the arcade games, including beat 'em ups. So that's going to be pretty fun to check out, because unfortunately Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like going for like $200 now physically, so I'm definitely going to be picking this up. One of the most pleasant surprises, though, was at this convention, at this direct, was there is a new Legend of Zelda game coming out. And at first I thought it was going to be a remake of Link to the Past, but instead it's going to be a Legend of Zelda game where instead of playing as Link, you play as Zelda, and it's going to be called The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I've actually heard people call this Legend of Link because Link's not in the game, but I'm actually looking forward to see how this is. It's going to be by the same team that did the Link's Awakening remake, which I really enjoyed. And they also announced a new Nintendo Switch themed light, which does look pretty neat. Next up they showed was Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is a new Mario Party game, and not much to say about this. I like Mario Party, but I don't know how this one's going to do. Hopefully it's good. This is one update that really did confuse me, though, was they just announced that Nintendo Switch Sports is getting another update, which I was like, I thought that game died. I thought the community for that game is basically gone. Like, and they're adding basketball to it, which I actually did pick it up. I have not played it yet, but I don't know if people still play it. Do people still play Nintendo Switch Sports? I'm curious. But yeah, the community of that game I thought died, and I think people were really disappointed with that game. I thought they were going to add boxing. Like, come on, add boxing. That would be so cool to see. But the biggest thing they showed off at the entire direct, and this made me lose my mind, was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now, this was this looked amazing. Like, I don't know if it's going to be running. It doesn't look like it's running on a Switch. It might be a launch title for the new Switch, but holy crap, this looked incredible. Like, visually, it looked outstanding, and the combat looked really good. It looks amazing, and it's my most anticipated game of next year. I was seeing if it would release in 2024, but they're gonna release it in 2025, which I still stand. Take all the time you need, but I cannot wait to play Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It looks amazing. Graphically, it looked gorgeous. I don't know if it's gonna be if I was running on a Switch, but it's gonna push the Switch to its limits. And then they showed off some Nintendo Switch Online titles, like they're adding Metroid Zero Mission, and they're adding games to N64 like Turok and Perfect Dark, which is cool. Not really the biggest fan of those franchises, but they also showed Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which people are probably gonna buy for the meme. I'm not losing my mind over that. I know people are gonna play it though, but definitely interesting. So there was a lot of pleasant surprises. There was also a Funko Fusion game. There was Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming to Switch, which I know people are really hyped for. There was a new Phantom Brave game. There was a Disney Illusion Island update that's coming soon. They also showed Lego Horizon Adventure, which confuses me. So they also announced Stray is coming to Switch. They announced a lot of stuff. They announced a Lord of the Rings style Animal Crossing game, which could be cool. Just Dance, don't really care. Then they announced Ace Attorney. A new game from the creator of Danganronpa called the 100 Line Last Defense Academy, which looked cool. I like Danganronpa. I might check this out. They also announced Romancing Saga 2's Revenge of the Seven, which looked interesting, but those are really the biggest highlights. I really do think Nintendo listened to saw the community kind of say these showcases have been pretty lackluster, but man, am I happy that this showcase was great. I'm so happy Metroid Prime 4 is happening. I'm definitely going to be checking out Legends Echoes of Wisdom, but this was overall a great showcase, and I'm looking forward to see what Nintendo does next. I don't know if we're going to see a Switch 2 next year, but right now, it's looking very likely. We'll have to wait and see. So, anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, like it. If you like my content, make sure you subscribe and comment. So, let me know what you guys thought about this Direct too. I'm curious. So, anyways, I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.